Philani, and I'm going to present a short talk on the invasiveness of Cytisus scoparius and Ulex europaeus in South Africa. Cytisus scoparius is commonly known as Scotch broom, and Ulex europaeus is commonly known as gorse. Both of these plants are legumes, and they are from the family Invasive, and they can grow up to 4 meters tall. They are both native to Europe, but Scotch broom is also native to northern Africa. They have been found to be invading disturbed habitats such as overgrass pastures, burnt forest, along roadside and in sand dunes. They have been also reported to be highly invasive in many countries, and they got introduced into these countries as garden ornamentals, hedge plants, and they also used to stabilize highway embankments. The reason that makes them to be highly invasive is due to the fact that they produce a high number of seeds, and their spread rate is actually very rapid. And on establishment, they form a large thicket that's killing native plant species that are growing in association with them. We also have some populations in South Africa that's got introduced from 1940s for Scotch broom and 1930s for gorse. However, empirical data on the invasiveness of these two plant species in South Africa is very scarce, and hence the rationale for undertaking this study. So what we wanted to actually determine the current and the potential distribution of both species in South Africa, and determine the population structure, reproductive capacity and output, and assess the effectiveness of herbicide use in the management of both plant species. So what I did is I did individual counts of in all visited populations, and I also measured growth parameters such as height, stem diameter, and crown diameter. I also determined seed output in the selected population and collected seed bank data in Scotch broom population. Still going to do that for gorse as well. And at the moment, I have identified 17 populations of Scotch broom and a total of 3 gorse populations. The population size varied widely among populations of each species. And this slide here shows the size class frequency distribution for both species. And the first 2 graphs over there show the graphs for Scotch broom, and the second row is for gorse. Top graphs actually shows height versus the number of individuals per size class in terms of height, and the bottom one shows number of individuals per size class in terms of crown diameter. And in all these cases, we actually observed that the frequency distribution was actually positively skewed, meaning that there were a high number of younger plants as compared to adult plants. We also noted that both species started to reproduce at a very young age. These first 2 graphs shows the size class at which both species, Scotch broom species, started to reproduce in terms of height, and for the top graphs, and that one is for gorse, and at the bottom, we actually shown the minimum size at which both species started to produce in terms of plant diameter. And in all cases, it shows that both species start to reproduce at a very young age. We noted that there was a high number of seeds produced per individual plant in both species, and we also noted that there was a very weak positive relationship between growth parameters such as height, crown diameter, height, crown diameter, and stem diameter in relation to the total number of seeds produced per individual plant. We also noted that there was a high seed bank load in Scotch broom population that we visited, and so far I can conclude that both species seem to have a high potential to become invasive due to the fact that they produce high number of seeds and seedlings. The work is still going on, and I still need to do some seed bank studies for gorse, pollination studies, and assess the efficacy of herbicide treatment, and then do some follow-ups on the growth experiments that are running at the moment. Thank you so much for that.